All right. Raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true? All right. So Melanie Calderon, you're before the court on 2025 CR 06979, State of Georgia versus Melanie Calderon. You're before the court for battery, family violence, count 1, battery, count 2, simple battery, family violence, count 3, simple battery, count 4, cruelty to a cruelty witness. I've never seen that before.
I believe it's supposed to be cruelty to children in the 3rd degree, Judge.
Okay, I've never seen it written like this before. Cruelty to children in the 3rd degree counts 5, 6, and 7. And number 8, criminal trespass with damage to property. All right, Ms. Calderon, your attorney has asked that we take this plea under the first offender statute. I'm sure he has informed you about your first offender statute rights and responsibilities, that this is a one-time deal. You won't have this opportunity anymore. And if you successfully complete, this will have benefits with respect to how this is reported or not reported on your criminal record. If you fail to complete it properly, then it's going to show up as a guilty, and you'll have whatever repercussions come with that. Do you understand? Speak up for me. All right. So, Mr. Lynch, what is your client plea to the offenses before the court?
Judge, it's going to be a guilty plea to count 1. And I believe this counts 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're asking that those be taken, that this plea is taken under the First Offender Act.
All right. Is this okay with the state?
One moment, Your Honor. Let me just confirm that she's eligible. Yes, Your Honor. State has no objection.
All right. I enter a plea of guilty to counts 1, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Counts 2, 3, and 4 will merge. You give up the right under first offender. You give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Factual basis and recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On June 26th of 2025, officers with the Clayton County Police Department responded to 1246 Stoneham, that's Stoneham, one word, court in Atlanta, Georgia, in a portion of Atlanta that is within the boundaries of Clayton County. There they made contact with with Miss Alani, Alani Gandera, Gandera, and her sisters Nayeli, Nayeli, and Melanie, Melanie, as well as another lady, Miss Melanie Castro, spelled the same way as Melanie's name, last name Castro. It was determined that the defendant before you, Miss Calderon, did inflict visible bodily harm on Miss Melanie Castro by striking her in the face with a closed fist, causing a red swollen mark on her face. They were married at the time, Your Honor. This did occur in front of 3 children that were under the age of 18, those being...
You just give me the ages.
Yes, those being children that were 14, 9, and 10. And during the tussle, the defendant before you did punch 2 holes into the wall of the shared property. The victim is here and wishes to make a statement. Your Honor, like to hear that prior to the state's recommendation or after the state's recommendation?
Go ahead. I can hear it.
Okay. Miss Melanie, if you would unmute yourself and raise your right hand, please. Please raise your right hand, ma'am. Do you swear or affirm any testimony you give today shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please lower your hand, ma'am. Please state your name for the record.
Melanie Castro.
Okay, Miss Castro. How are you related to the case of Miss State of Georgia versus Miss Melanie Calderon?
She's my wife.
Okay. And you've spoken to our office through Miss Hemphill, is that correct?
Yes,
And you wanted to make a statement today, is that correct?
correct.
Go ahead and let us know what you want to let us know, ma'am.
Okay, all I wanted to let y'all know is that, yes, this is her first offense, and do what y'all will with that. All I ask is that she does have my property, which is my cell phone, if she can retrieve that back to me and not fight me on this annulment, because we do have an appointment to get annulled sometime next month, and that she does not fight me on that. And that's all I request from her.
So you can make the request, ma'am, but we deal with the criminal matters. I can't make her not fight you for an annulment. I can request that she give back your cell phone, and set a time limit and set penalties for that. But I can't make her not fight an annulment or a divorce. So,
Okay, that's fine. As long as I get the phone back. Yes, ma'am.
so, anything else?
No, ma'am.
Does she have any like personal property there that needs to be returned?
She does have my cell phone. That's all I asked.
No,
The
I'm talking
damages.
about, does she have any personal property that's still in your location?
Oh, no, ma'am. I'm not residing over there anymore. I literally moved states because of the incidents.
Okay. All right. Mr. Lynch? Oh, I'm sorry, recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. With regard to count one, it's going to be 12 months to serve 35 days, balance probated, family violence intervention program, 40 hours of community service, $300 fine, no contact with the victim. Counts 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm sorry, counts 2, 3, and 4 will merge into count one. Counts 5, 6, 7 will be 12 months served, 35 days concurrent with count one. Count 8, the only request that we made on that was restitution. That will be of the cell phone for property.
Judge.
Mm-hmm.
If I might just have one moment to verify something with my client that I want to get a little clarification on.
Excuse me, Judge. I didn't
Yes.
hear the restitution part for
I
count
think it
8.
was just return of the cell phone, but I might have to fill that in a little bit.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
So, Judge, I just wanted to verify, we understand that the sentence recommendation is no contact with the alleged victim who we just heard from. The incident location, though, that's not a do not return. She
said she moved 2 states away, so
the victim,
I don't know that that's a problem.
her stuff is still at the incident location. I believe that that is where she continues to reside. Is that or
Are you listening to me, Mr. Lynch? Am I muted? Because I just said she testified that she has moved 2 states away and she's no longer at that location. So the location is really not in play.
No, you didn't move 2 states away. My client did not move away. My client's still residing.
Melanie Castro moved 2 states away.
I understand that. I'm just trying to clarify.
She is not in the location.
Yeah, I understand that.
That's why I had to clarify if there was anything there that was still there. And she said, no, I have moved 2 states away.
Okay.
All right. So I don't care about Miss Calderon going back to that location.
Thank you, Judge. That's all I was.
If I ask these questions, Mr. Lynch.
I understand, Judge. Sometimes
All right. So, Ms. Calderon. So I don't understand how people expect relationships to work when there's violence. I really don't. I just don't understand how being violent in a relationship is supposed to work. Being violent in a relationship means that you really don't want the relationship, because the relationship is supposed to be the safe space for all parties involved. Once you work through that door, everything that's going on in the outside world, all of the stresses, all of the issues, those are supposed to be left on the outside. And if you're having issues with the person that you're in a relationship with, then you need to get counseling to figure out how best to communicate, because there's always going to be some stressors. There's always going to be job issues, financial issues, personality issues, all of those things. But I don't understand how anybody thinks a relationship is supposed to work when you're violent. Mrs. Castro is saying, don't fight me on the annulment. Well, y'all are married, so it might not be an annulment. It may be a divorce. For some reason, some people think annulment is when they just get tired and we were only married a short time. That's not necessarily the case. So it might actually be a divorce. But that's neither here nor there. The issue is, I don't understand wanting to, I understand Miss Castro's point of view, because who wants to be in a relationship where there's violence? And what she's saying is, I'm done. I'm walking away. I'm done. Too many times we see people say, I'm done. I'm walking away. And then the other person reacts in a violent manner. What I'm saying to you is, are you the person that anybody would want to be in a relationship with? If you are not, then work on that, because we can only change ourselves. Whether somebody wants to be with us or not be with us, we can only change ourselves. And if violence is in a relationship is what you think is going to work, I can tell you it will not. You got me?
Yes, ma'am.
And no kids need to see that. No kids need to see their parents being violent. No kids need to grow up in a situation where they're not sure when the next plate is going to be thrown or what's going to happen next. Nobody needs to see that. And so for whatever your next relationship is, because Ms. Castro says she's done, and she has the right to be. People have the right to choose to not live in a situation where there's a lack of communication and there's violence. Whatever your next relationship is, I would suggest that you do some work before you get into it. Now, you're going to be taking the Family Violence Intervention Program. It is a 24-week course. Take it seriously. There's a lot of helpful techniques in there to avoid this kind of thing happening again. But I just don't understand when people say, oh, but I love this person, and then there's violence. Because how can you love and be violent at the same time? Those are not two things that go together. So I'm going to accept your plea under the first offender statute for count 1, 12 months to serve 35 days. Is she getting credit for time served, or is she continuing to serve?
Judge, I believe that's.
Your Honor, that would be credit for time served.
Okay. Credit for time served. The balance will be probated for you to take the Family Violence Intervention Program. If you miss more than 3 days in a row, they're going to make you start all over again. So please be mindful of that. Fine in the amount of $300. That's going to be $444 with the surcharges. And you're to have no contact with Alani Gandara, with Melanie Castro, with Nayeli, and I missed one baby's name. What is the baby's name, Mr. Tips?
Excuse me, Judge. I'm the mother.
Yes, Ms. Castro.
No, I'm not Miss Castro. I am the mother of the children.
What? I'm sorry, I'm so confused now. Who's the mother of the children?
I am the mother of the children. Hold on, I'm trying to.
Zahara Uribe?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so all right, so Miss Melanie Castro and Miss Melanie Calderon. Miss Melanie Castro is your child also?
Children. the 14-year-old, the 9-year-old, and the 10-year-old. Ms. Melanie Castro and Ms. Melanie Calderon, both were living with me at the time of the incidents.
All right, hold on. Can you turn your video on?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to. There we go. Okay. I'm sorry.
Raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Are any of them living with you now?
No. So they were living with me when the incident happened. I was not at home. I came home to the incident. My children were the one that were at home when it happened.
Okay, does Miss Melanie Calderon need to have any contact with your children?
So I requested, I don't mind. Ms. Melanie Calderon is family. She is my cousin. She is the one who was living with me when they got married. Melanie Castro moved in with me. I don't mind still having contact with with Melanie Calderon. I don't mind my kids still having contact with her. I did let her know though, she unfortunately, because of the situation and the everything that happened and how my kids are feeling about the situation now, she can no longer live with me. But she can come over, grab whatever's left there. She has a little bit of clothes there left. I don't hold no grudge against her. My kids, like I said, they are kind of a little traumatized, scared of the situation because I'm a single mother of 3, and that's one thing I don't do is, like you said, family violence relationship.
Okay, hold on, Ms. Doreen. Okay, so first thing, grown people need to have their own space. And so I'm not sure how the Melanies got to living with you. I'm sure you were being very kind to them, but grown people, especially people who grown enough to get married, they've grown enough to have their own space. So that's you. I'm gonna order that there be no violent or harassing contact with any of the children, the 14-year-old, the 9-year-old, and the 10-year-old. With Miss Melanie Calderon, if you want to have her around your children, that's up to you. But she's to have no contact with Miss Melanie Castro, except for any contact ordered through the court system to affect the annulment or divorce or whatever court process is going on. Ms. Calderon, unless it's ordered by the court that you communicate certain things, information through the courts, you're to have no contact. Now, let me explain what no contact means so we don't get off on the wrong foot. No contact means you're not to call her, text her, have a third party call her, talk to her through your cousin, do anything on social media, call her job, call any of her relatives. Don't have any contact to the whatever you would think of as contact, any contact, and then think of more, no contact. Because if you were to have contact with her, you would be in violation of my sentence. If you violate my sentence, you could be returned to jail and spend the remainder of the 12 months in jail. You could also be charged with additional misdemeanors or felonies. The felony particularly of aggravated stalking, which is punishable by up to 10 years in prison, a $10,000 fine, or both. So you are to have no contact with Melanie Castro, except as required for you all to be divorced or annulled. All right. So count to run concurrent with that for 5, 6, 7, and 8, which will run concurrent with count 1, 12 months to serve 35 days. Credit for time served balance will be probated. On count 8, you're to return the cell phone to the sheriff's office of Clayton County by August 10th. If that cell phone is not returned, you run the risk of being in contempt of this court and this court's sentence, and also being returned to jail. Do you understand? I'm sorry, you're gonna have to speak up. All right, so I got a yes, ma'am out of that. So Ms. Calderon, like I said, love doesn't hurt. So anytime you are in a relationship, if you're the one doing the hurting, you need to check on yourself and get some help with communication, because that's not how relationships go. Okay. All right. You can go back with the sheriff's office.